Hello, everybody. I'm back. Do I need to announce this anymore? I don't think so, because as always, for as long as I can, I will be back to you as regularly and as often as possible, because I just absolutely love and adore you all. I'm having such fun. Well, sometimes I don't as much, but overall, it's a pleasant experience and I'm enjoying using my voice once again. Anyway, I have been doing some digging like I promised. So, while digging around to find some more information on dear Archie, I actually happened upon something completely different, but it could be the reason why you and I and us will never find out the truth about where Archie came from and the truth about his birth. And I'm going to start this off, before we discuss it any further, by reading an article from ABC News. A Pennsylvania couple allegedly lied about the pregnancy, birth, and death of their son, then fraudulently accepting gifts and money during the folks' tragedy, according to court documents. Jeffrey and Casey Lang are facing charges after allegedly claiming their son, Easton Walt Lang, was born on July 3rd, and then I cannot pronounce the name of this hospital, but I'm going to try. Conemaugh, Conemaughh Memorial Hospital, and died hours later, according to court documents filed on Thursday. Officials with the hospital and local coroner's officers told police they did not have a record of Casey or Easton Lang, according to a probable cause affidavit. In an August 5 interview, Jeffrey Lang told state troopers that he wasn't at the hospital when his baby was born and died, according to a probable cause affidavit against him. Casey Lang was interviewed that same day when she told state troopers her son had respiratory distress syndrome and died hours after birth, according to court documents. The baby died from fluid in his lungs and his heart rate dropped below 50 BPM, Jeffrey Lang allegedly told police, adding that his wife was discharged shortly after the death, according to documents. The husband then told police Hindman Funeral Home conducted the cremation, a probable cause affidavit said. Employees of the Hindman Funeral Home, however, told troopers Easton Lang was not cremated there. Pictures of the baby, which matched the appearance of a newborn look-alike baby doll, were posted on the Langs' Facebook pages, according to a probable cause affidavit. At the Langs' home, police found a lifelike baby doll and an urn personalized for Easton Walt Lang, documents said. An unnamed woman told police she made a GoFundMe page for the Langs at the request of Jeffrey Lang's mother, according to court documents. The woman said Casey Lang helped write a paragraph describing the need for money, documents further said. More than $600 in gift cards, groceries, gas money, and cash were allegedly donated to the Langs, according to the documents. One woman told police she gave the Langs money to help pay for the urn. Another woman said she was invited to the baby shower and gave the couple clothes, diapers, and wipes. Jeffrey and Casey Lang were charged with theft by deception, theft by unlawful taking of movable property, and receiving stolen property. The Langs both had a preliminary hearing set for October the 1st. Okay, and then it goes on to tell us more about the GoFundMe guarantees and issues and etc., rules and regulations. So I'm not going to continue reading this. However, I do want to read something from another interview or another article. Okay, so the one I just read was from August 2019. And then there's another one from the Washington Post dated March 2019. And the article starts off with, "The baby seemed real up until the moment she was supposed to be born. Laura and Matt Trait were in the waiting room wondering why they couldn't seem to find her. They had flown all the way from Orange County, California, to witness the birth at a hospital in Kingsport, Tennessee, a few miles from the Virginia border. The couple had struggled with infertility for years and planned to adopt the baby from 34-year-old Elizabeth Jones. Hudson, the Trait's 6-year-old son, who was conceived through in vitro fertilization, was wearing a shirt that said, 'Best Big Bro.' But before long, the Trait family's excitement drifted towards anxiety. In text messages and phone calls early the morning of November 29, 2018, Jones told Laura she had gone into labor on the way to the hospital, had to flag down an ambulance on the side of the road, and then, without any medication, painfully gave birth to the baby girl as the ambulance roared towards the emergency room." Anyway, and then it goes on to explain the whole scenario of the people the Tates driving there and getting there in a rush, very excited to collect their baby. But there was no Elizabeth Jones in the hospital who had given birth, the nurses at the front desk told the couple. There was only an Elizabeth Jones who had checked herself in for back pain. So eventually Laura wanted to see Elizabeth for herself, so she followed a nurse to Jones's bed. The nurse pulled back the curtain that concealed her, and there was Jones, calm and fully clothed. There was no blood, there was no baby. Since leaving the hospital empty-handed that morning, the Traits have been tormented by a bizarre question that, as far as they can tell, doesn't have an answer. Why would someone make up a pregnancy? Why would someone then deceive two excited adopted parents into believing it is real? Well, that's a million-dollar question, Jones told local news station WCYB. She said that she didn't know the answer either, and that the elaborate ruse may land her in prison. On Monday, Jones was arrested on 9 counts of felony larceny for allegedly obtaining gifts and other perks from the Traits under false pretenses, according to court records. Prosecutors in Scott County accused her of eating out at restaurants on the Traits' dime, accepting numerous presents from the couple and causing them to pay for an expensive professional photo shoot for the announcement of the non-existent baby's birth. The Traits called Jones's deeds a psychological attack. And then it goes on. In fact, Jones said in a previous interview that because no money was exchanged, she did not see how her conduct was criminal. And she said, "How is that a crime?" Prosecutors, however, got creative after the couple provided them with all their receipts. Because Jones had multiple credit card fraud convictions in Virginia, prosecutors were able to enhance the larceny charges to felonies. She was also charged with violating probation, a felony for which prosecutors are seeking a 5-year prison sentence, according to Orange County Register, and so on and so on. Okay, so these are only 2 of the many, many cases I found. So for those people who have been talking to me and really getting nasty, saying that we are all conspiracy theorists and that we are crazy for thinking that it would have been possible for Meghan Markle to fake a pregnancy. Well, I think by reading just these 2 articles, I, my dearie dears, am one up on you, because it has happened, it's still happening, and for a number of reasons. Some people are only sick and they pretend to be pregnant for sympathy and attention, but there are others, And there are many. And if you don't believe me, just Google it. But there are many cases of women similar to these, and even families, as in the first case, the husband was involved. But there are many cases where women fake pregnancies for financial gain. Pure and simple financial gain. Most often they fake pregnancies and they used it against a previous partner or an ex-partner, to try and get money out of him, or to actually keep him tied to them. So if Meghan Markle had faked her pregnancy, it would not be such a stretch. It would not be her being the only one who's ever done that. No, no, no. A number, and many, actually not a number, many, many women have done that before her. There are many women still doing it. And like I said, some just to keep an ex in tow or to get some money from him. But there are plenty of women actually fraudulently getting money from complete strangers. And yes, people, it is against the law, as you can see. These people, when caught out, are charged with theft and fraud, and depending on the circumstances, also impersonating somebody. So it's quite a serious charge, and there are a number of articles that I found that will explain exactly what these people can be charged with. And that, my dear subscribers, is why you and I will never, ever, ever know the exact circumstances of Archie's birth. Now, I am completely convinced that they used a surrogate. I'm convinced. Why? Because we saw the bump fall to her knees, we've seen the bump inflating and deflating, we heard the bump popping, we've seen her with a bigger bump at 5 months than at 8 months, and it goes on and on and on. Why did she not want to use the Queen's absolutely excellent, well-chosen medical professionals, but insisted on using a doctor of her own choice? Why? Why did that particular doctor not sign the birth certificate or the birth announcement? Why did they not give Archie a title that he was entitled to by birth? Why did they decline a title? Or did they decline a title? Or was titles or a title not offered because he did not come from the body of Meghan Markle? So all these things have accumulated into a scenario where I and you, or many of you on my channel, believe that Meghan Markle herself was not pregnant. We are not saying that Archie is not their child, because biologically he could very well be their child. What we are saying is that she did not give birth to him herself. That is all. Now that in itself is nothing strange. People use surrogates and they adopt every single day. Many celebrities have used surrogates and adopted children. Many normal people like you and me, people who could afford it, used surrogates and adopted children because they could not have children of their own. So it is not abnormal. And why Harry and Meghan, if they'd used a surrogate, would choose to lie about it is still beyond me. Of course, there is the idea that they tried to fool the royal family in order for their baby to get all the privileges and titles that royal children are entitled to. So that is obviously one major reason why they could have done this. But that would have been a very dumb reason, because as we all know, the Queen and the royal family are protected by the likes of MI5 and MI6. And of course, it would have been discovered and found out somewhere along the line. So why lie about it? So many people would have been very sympathetic, and I'm sure Meghan could even have gained herself a very targeted and loyal following from these mothers who had battled to fall pregnant before, from women who were forced due to circumstances or their health to make use of a surrogate or to adopt. Many gay couples would have supported her, some of them having used surrogates or adoption to get a child. She could have gained a heck of a lot of support from all these people. Yet she went for the money, the money, the titles that she was hoping to get from the royal family. Now, the royal family will cover this up. Now, you and I may say, well, if that's the case and these other people could have been charged for theft and fraud and impersonating somebody, why not Meghan Markle? Because it will damage the royal family's reputation. It will point out to us that they are just normal human beings with normal human failures, that they fell for Meghan Markle's malarkey, in other words, for her nonsense, that they were duped by a Z-list actress, and of course, that will make them look weak. So yeah, just like with Andrew, and I'm not saying Andrew is guilty of anything, I have my own opinion on that, and we'll keep that for another video. But just like with Andrew, they will cover this up in order to make themselves look better and not to make them look weak or human like the rest of us. But anyway, the whole reason why I made this video and why I'm pointing all of this out to you is just to prove to those of you who had been sending me email and the odd comment saying that it is totally ridiculous, that we are being ridiculous to think that Meghan could have faked her pregnancy. No, we are not. Others have done this, as you can see, and it's still being done, sometimes because these people have mental issues, but often for financial gain. And it is my personal opinion that that is exactly why Meghan Markle went this route. Okay, so I thought this would be interesting. There's also an article on the legal ramifications of such acts, and it is a bit long to read. I think I've given you the basics. People are arguing about it in the legal fraternity, but at the end of the day, they all come to the same conclusion, namely that it is fraud conducted on other people. There's even an article where it's made very clear by a legal expert that even if such a person, such a woman or a couple, do not necessarily ask for money, they don't necessarily even have to put up a GoFundMe page or anything like that, but just the act of appearing to be pregnant and actually accepting gifts given voluntary and without this woman or the couple even asking for anything or putting others in a position where they feel they need to contribute, even just by wearing a false bump, pretending you're pregnant, and then accepting even a voluntary gift still constitutes fraud and theft. So the law makes it very, very clear. And that, my dear friends, is why Meghan Markle and the royal family can never, ever come out after the fact and tell us the truth. So if there is a truth to be told, you and I will have to find it for ourselves. And now I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to say until the next time. Bye.